Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing easy box number 115 for me, and that is Valley. This is an older box, but like I said, I'm going through all of the easy challenges to get those done and caught up, and then I'll be moving on to the mediums. So this one's a nice little box. It actually harpens back to some traditional red teaming methods that I really like, so let's hop into it. Okay, and as always, first thing we do when we have the IP address server is we come into etc host using the sudo nano command, and you want to add the IP address, and for this we're going to use valley.thm. Now since we got that set, we're going to do a quick nmap scan on Valley to find any open ports. Okay, we found an SSH and HTTP. Let's do a SCV scan on those, see if we see anything interesting. Okay, so here's our command and here's our results. Nothing really stands out here. See, the HTTP title isn't set. That's about it. Let's go take a look at the website. Alrighty, here we are at the website, and not much on the surface. We go into the gallery, we see we got a bunch of photos, we got a return home button, pricing, takes us to this page, and we can return home. So let's go ahead and see if we can do some directory brute forcing and see if we can find anything interesting. Okay, so we're going to be using big.txt from the dir directory, and we're just going to put the fuzz there at the end. I'm using .html because if you didn't notice, you click on pricing or gallery, you'll see the page ends with an HTML up there. So let's see what we can find. Okay, that's completed. Now, as suspected, we did find a gallery directory, a pricing directory, and the only HTML that turned up is the index.html. That means the other HTMLs are in these folders. Now we have another 301, which normally indicates a directory, called static. So let's go take a look, see if we can pull anything up with that. Okay, it looks like when we go through the browser, all we get is just this page with nothing listed. Okay, so let's rerun our directory scan, except make sure to put the static directory in there, and let's see what we get. Okay, we've got a list of numbers here, but if we take a look, this 00 has the smallest size with 15 words. So let's see if we can load that up. So we do get, I guess, reading from a text file, and we see there is a directory here. So let's copy that, put it in up here, and see what we get. Okay, we get a login page. Interesting. Let's take a look at the page source real quick. There's a dev.js. Let's take a look at it. Oh, we've got password information here and a text file. So we've got a password of simdev, password of California, and this is in the directory M, but it's a text file link here. So let's copy that. Let's get rid of this and go take a look at that file. Okay, made it bigger again for you. Stop reusing credentials. So that means whoever uses this login apparently uses that in several places. Check for any vulnerabilities. Stay up to date on patching. Change FTP port to normal port. There you go. That's a big clue. So that means we need to scan for an FTP port that's not in your standard, so that's why -F didn't see it. So to find it, we want to run this nmap scan. This will scan all ports and see if it can find any that respond back or are filtered. Okay, we have our 2 ports from before, but now we've got this one, 37370. So let's see if we can FTP into that. And to do that, we'll use the FTP command. We'll do the simdev since we have a password for them at valley.thm, set the port. Okay, we were able to log in successfully, so let's take a look what we have here. Okay, we've got 3 pcap files, and we'll use the git command. Okay, and we're going to use the git command, and we'll just pull the first one down, simftp.pcapng, and you'll have to put it in like that, and you'll have to repeat it for each file. Okay, and when you do, you'll have the 3 files like this, and if you're on Kali, you should have Wireshark already installed. If not, you will need to install it. Now, if you open up and go through each of these, you can see here, we have some credentials in this one that worked for FTP but no longer work. This one doesn't have too much in it that's interesting. This one, however, we do have some stuff, and if you notice, it says protected payload right here. So that means there's a communication happening, but it's encoded. So what we want to do is go File, Export Object, HTTP, and see this first index right here, you want to extract it. So we'll just hit save, and we can close this out. So now we've got a new file here. And if we open it up, we can see it looks like it's originally been a return reply. We'll see we've got Valley Dev, and we've got a new password. Now remember we had an SSH port, so we could try this on FTP, but it didn't work there for me, but it does work on the SSH port. So let's go log in there. Okay, and as you can see, we are logged in as Valley Dev. If we ls real quick, you can see we've got the user file here, so you can grab that flag and go pop it in. So what do we do here? Well, first thing, since we know the password, let's run sudo, see if we can find anything useful there. Nope, not allowed to use sudo. Okay, well, can we find anything from cron tab? Yep, sure enough, there is a Python file here. So let's take a look at it real quick. First off, we want to look at the permissions and ownership of the file. So you can see here, all three have read, only the owner has write, all three have execute, and the owner and group is root. So we can't modify the file, but we can at least take a look at it. Alrighty, so it's importing base64, and for I in range of 1 to 7, image path is set using the number, then it reads the bytes of the image, then it encodes it in base64, and then prints it out as a .enc file using write bits. Okay, that's actually a legit Python script. We can't do anything here. I don't really see a way we can inject this. So if you remember, the Python script imported a library, and that's the base64. Let's go take a look at it real quick. Well, first, let's go find on this system where it's installed. All right, we'll do that by using the find command. I want to set it search from root, set name to base64 because that's the library we're importing. Remember, when it comes to Python, all libraries actually end in a .py because they are Python scripts themselves. And we'll do this so we don't see any errors. Alrighty, so we got some results here. Snaps we're not interested in, but this up here, that's what we're looking for. So we copy it. Real quick, let's take a look at the permissions for it. Root and Valley admin. So again, we can't do anything with that, but imagine if I do ID, yeah, he's only Valley dev. He's not in the Valley admin group. So now we need to see if there's a way we can pivot. And by that, we need to do more exploration. First thing we want to do is just go up one directory to home and see what else is listed here. Okay, looks like we've got 3 or 4 folders. Let's take a bit more of a detailed look. This is an application. So Valley Authenticator. So we are currently Valley Dev. And just to note, I did change into SIM when I originally did the box. There's nothing in there. You do see the FTP folder that you accessed earlier. So if we run this, change back up to home real quick. Valley big A star so we can run it quicker. What's your username? Say Valley. See if the photos password works. No, it doesn't. Alright, interesting. So next I would normally try to run strings to see if there's any text in the executable that we can see if I'm having to dig too much. But as you can see on this box, strings is not installed, so we need to get that to our local machine, and we'll simply do that using Python. Okay, we'll use the http.server module, set it to port 8080, hit enter, come back to our browser, and we'll be able to access it simply just by typing it in that way. As you can see, we can see the Valley Authenticator now. So we click it, it downloads, open this, and we'll move it to our working directory. So we'll close that. Want to leave this open, so that's why I've got another terminal here. Now we can run strings on it. We'll do that with strings, Valley, asterisk, I don't want to type the whole thing, and we get a lot out in return. If we scroll up, you can see we're way down. So let's do this real quick. We'll use the -n option. This sets how long the string has to be before it gets printed out. And we'll put the output to valley.txt. So that way, if it's still a large list, we can at least be able to scroll through it. Okay, so as you see here, we got a file. So if we open it, we can see there's still quite a bit, a little over 2,000 lines, almost 2,100. So you can rerun the command, just keep upping. I would probably say go to like 9 or 10, something like that, and you'd be able to get most of this out if you want to make a smaller file to search through. Eventually you'll find, and on here for me it's line 10,011, welcome to Valley Inc. Authenticator. See, we have some hashes right here before it. Now if we grab this, come back to our browser, we'll come to crack station, drop it in there, and crack it, and you see we get a new password. So now if we go back and run this, try to log in as Valley. Okay, you see the password works, so now we should be able to use su Valley password. Okay, it took, I guess there was a space or something because I see this is slightly offset, so manually typed it in, we're good to go. So let's change into the Valley folder and see if we can find anything. Standard here, we got some folders. Let's do the big R. Let's get rid of this, make it a little bit easier. There we go. What is UAF? We need to change directories. Let me actually hit the right key. There we go. Clear that up. Okay, it's a link file. So nothing really there. Okay, so let's backtrack to that Python script. Okay, so here we are in the directory, userlib python 3.8. That's where the base64 Python script lives. Now, since we're Valley, we do ID. You can see we were part of the Valley admin group, so we'll be able to edit that file. So let's open it up with Nano or Vim, whichever one you like. Okay, as you can see, we don't have your red down here, so we should be good to go. Okay, I've popped in my Python script for my notes, so it's this section right here. If you want to pause, you can type all that in. Make sure to set this IP address to what your tunnel IP address is from the IPA command in your terminal on your machine, not the target machine. You want to look for a ton 0 usually, and it's going to be that number. So once we got in there, we can exit, save, and then literally we can sit back and just wait for it to come to us. And we'll do that with this command, ncat, set a listening port, and just wait for it to connect. Okay, if it didn't work for you and you just copy what I typed, I had a typo. I forgot a C right there. Now it should connect for me. Congratulations if it's already connected for you. Okay, so like I said, takes a minute or so, but you finally get it. Just change the root directory, and you can see you have the root.txt there. You can get your last flag, and that's it. Okay, and that's it for this box. Like I said, I liked it because it goes back to what red teaming used to be about on the basic level. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And with that, we'll wrap up this video. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.